Today we will be learning an introduction to chemistry. First thing I want to ask you guys, as a starter question, what? Just name me anything you can remember about the elements of the periodic table. Anything. Write it down in your notebooks, and I'll see you in the end of the class. Okay. So first thing I want to start with is true or false. The chemical symbol for sodium is Na. That's true. A group goes across a periodic table. That is false. Elements that are in the same group in a periodic table have similar properties. That is true. The chemical symbol of potassium is P. False. The atom is the smallest particle. Also false. Okay, these are learning outcomes. These are the keywords: periodic table, group, period, atom, element, compound, mass number, atomic number, proton, electron, neutron, all that. So there's just a quick activity we'll be doing later. First, I just want to introduce you guys into atomic structure. Okay. So atomic structure, first on the periodic table, you'll see an element looking like this over here. It'll be like in a square with the elements, two letters, and the mass number and the atomic number. You might be wondering, what is the mass number? The mass number is the amount of protons and neutrons in an atom, and the atomic number is the amount of protons in an atom. One thing to remember, class, is that the number of electrons is the same thing as the number of protons. The electrons and protons are not the same thing, however, their numbers always have to be equal. If they're not equal, the element isn't stable, which is very dangerous. This is a little task we have here. How many protons, neutrons, and electrons are in the following atoms? We have hydrogen and helium as example answers. Atomic number 1, mass number 1. Helium, atomic number 2, mass number 4. Now I want you to answer carbon, oxygen, lead, and bismuth. Here are some periodic table papers to check. Okay, so has everybody got their answers ready? Okay, I'll show you. So carbon, the atomic number of carbon is 6, since it has 6 protons in it. However, the mass number of carbon is 12, since it has 6 protons and 6 neutrons. And oxygen, the atomic number is 8, since the protons are 8, the electrons are 8. Since protons and electrons always have to be the same. Always remember that, class. And the mass number is just the protons plus the neutrons. And as you can see here on the PowerPoint, there are 8 neutrons in oxygen and in one oxygen atom. So 8 plus 8 equals 16. So the mass number of oxygen is 16. Okay, here's lead. Lead has 82 protons, 82 electrons, and 125 neutrons. 82 protons means the atomic number is 82, which also means that the electrons are 82, since protons and electrons are, as we mentioned, always the same. And the mass number is, as we said, neutrons plus protons. So 125 plus 82 is, 125 plus 82 is 207. So the mass number of lead is 207. Now, bismuth. Bismuth has 83 protons, which means the atomic number of bismuth is 83. So the neutrons is 126. So that means 126 plus 83 equals 209. So the mass number of bismuth is 209. Okay. So now let me teach you a bit about electrons. atoms must have an equal number of protons and electrons, as I just mentioned earlier. And the atomic number, as we just mentioned again, is defined as the number of protons rather than the number of electrons, because atoms can lose or gain electrons but do not normally lose or gain protons. Since if an atom loses or gains protons, it usually means that it's unstable, which, as you mentioned, is very dangerous. Okay, these are some questions. You can answer them in your notebooks, and I'll check them at the end of the class. And for the last thing, these are the types of bonding. First thing, atoms can be joined together in three possible ways. First way is ionic bonding, which is used for metal and non-metal atoms, or metal and non-metal elements. And covalent bonding, which is used for non-metals only, and metallic bonding, which is used for metals only. And all three types involve changes in the electrons in the outermost electron shells of the atoms. And for the last thing on your notebooks, tell me what have you learned and what do you need more help on. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something.